as one of the bloodiest in the history of man. And yet a few faded pictures have provided our only glimpse of him these past 18 years. Most Americans are only familiar with the terror he unleashed because of a Hollywood movie, The Killing Fields. But the Cambodians who died because of his insane policies may have been as many as 2 million. For a moment, a few weeks ago, it appeared that this man might actually be brought to justice before an international tribunal. But still, he remained invisible. Until tonight. An ABC News exclusive. The trial and sentencing of Pol Pot.
This is ABC News Nightline. Tonight, reporting from Bangkok, Ted Koppel.
It's not that words fail, but that we've devalued them through overuse and careless application. We've exhausted some of their meaning, and we journalists with our screaming headlines are more to blame than most. There are, for instance, differences between bad and evil, mass murder and genocide. But in our competition for your attention, we tend toward the extreme. So that now when such words are needed, they are less potent than they ought to be. We should have saved a special word or two in this century of ours for the exterminators of millions, for Hitler and Stalin and Mao, and the most elusive and mysterious of them all, the only one still alive, the man you will meet tonight, Pol Pot. He worked at something of a disadvantage because his country, Cambodia, was so small to begin with, perhaps 7 or 8 million people, when Pol Pot led his Khmer Rouge guerrillas out of the jungle to seize Cambodia's capital of Phnom Penh. Still, he did what he could. During the mid and late 70s, the Khmer Rouge began a killing rampage, during which they shot and hacked, beat and tortured, worked and starved between 1 and 2 million of their fellow Cambodians to death. Those were truly evil times, and Pol Pot was the principal architect of that evil. He needed help, of course, and he got it. Some were more enthusiastic than others, but Cambodia remains a country teeming with killers, their accomplices, and their accessories. When word came then just a few weeks ago in early June that Pol Pot had been arrested by some of his former comrades in the Khmer Rouge, reaction was mixed. There was widespread skepticism that the event had happened, even some suggestion that Pol Pot himself might have staged it. But if it was true, then surely there should be a trial, an international war crimes tribunal in which Pol Pot could testify as to what he had done and why, and with whose help. That last point bothers a lot of people. Pol Pot had a great deal of assistance, and his accomplices are not eager for his testimony. But there was a trial of sorts, and tonight you will see it. Such as it was, the trial was held under a shed in the An Long Veng region of Cambodia in the northern part of the country last Friday. It is not a place for Westerners to visit uninvited.
As far as I know, no other Westerners have been there before and gotten out alive. Some Westerners have been captured in the past by the Khmer Rouge in that area, and we have reason to believe they've all been killed.
So, these are the Khmer Rouge, you find yourself thinking. Women and children, a few scattered men in uniform, gathered for what looks a lot more like a village meeting than the trial of a genocidal killer. Nor, if the truth be told, does the crowd seem particularly conscious of participating in an historic event. They have the look of people conditioned by hundreds of political indoctrination sessions. The man at the microphone issues a denunciation, and they chant, "Crush, crush, crush," followed by the regimented clapping of hands. 30 years ago, we saw millions of Chinese during the Cultural Revolution participate in similar robotic demonstrations. Nor is this in any sense what we in the West would recognize as a trial. Some of the indictments refer only obliquely to Pol Pot himself, but the onlookers know what is expected. The administrative head of the region complains that Khmer Rouge territory keeps diminishing, getting smaller and smaller. And the crowd chimes in on cue. Crush, crush the Pol Potists, they chant.